So, along my spiritual growth journey, I've had quite a few different encounters with different realms, with spirits, going into different dimensions. Last night, I had another one of these experiences, which I just want to talk about. I want to tell you what happened because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. So, I have done a lot of work in different realms of consciousness, as I have worked with shamans for quite a while in Latin America. I have done a lot of different spiritual modality work, whether it comes to Reiki healing, meditation, breath work. So it's not necessarily new to me to have some sort of big experience where I'm outside my body and, just in different realms of consciousness where there are different entities and spirits and different things that I am interacting with. But last night was just really out of the blue. I was lying in bed trying to get to sleep and I was pretty restless. Suddenly I hear my dad's voice call out to me, which is strange because it sounded like he was in the room. And then suddenly my body started feeling super expansive. So there's this quality of energy that I've experienced a few times, and in hindsight, this is what I've experienced when I've astral project. I've started to recognize it as a sign that I am actually leaving my body and starting to come out into the astral worlds. And it's just a really weird but intense feeling. I call it the gateway. So I enter this phase where it feels really like dense and I'm just being almost like crushed under my own weight, but at the same time it's expansive and it feels like everything is stretching out, and it's just a really heavy body sort of feeling. So I was initially even a little bit excited that I was getting out of my body and accessing some sort of different quality of energy or realm of consciousness, or whatever way you want to put it. Not reality. I wasn't in reality. But it kept amplifying and just getting super strong. So every time that I have astral projected, I've done that through my own will. So I have decided to practice doing it by getting into a deep state of meditation. And once I'm in a really deep state of meditation, sometimes I start getting that expansive feeling where if I can maintain that state, I'll start actually coming out of my body. But it is really difficult to actually maintain that state and make it out, because usually there's a thought, there's some sort of excitement or fear, because again, it's a intense feeling. On occasion, I have made it all over the way out, where I have been traversing different realms and seen all these different spirits and been taken just to different parts of this spiritual dimension. This just suddenly came out of nowhere, and it wasn't a process at all. It wasn't like, oh, I need to get into this deep state of meditation and start going into it. It just sort of just happened. And I noticed that there was some sort of negative quality of energy in the room. So I started feeling a little bit unsettled because I didn't know what was in there with me. And when you are going out of your body and you're going into these spiritual realms, you are leaving yourself energetically exposed. As soon as this happened, I'm just in another place and I'm like, holy crap, what's going on? And there was just this really dark, dense energy, which, isn't a new experience as well. I've had this before. But what was weird this time is that it was talking to me. So there's these really deep sort of whispers. I just had this voice talking to me while I was just like in this weird state of consciousness. And naturally I started feeling a little bit of fear when this was happening. So I'm like, okay, this isn't a good situation to be in. I don't want to be here. So I'm going to feel, I'm going to try and feel love and gratitude, because from what I understand, the best way to counter these negative qualities of energy is to hold a vibration of love, to hold high vibrational energy, which sort of pushes them away. So I was trying to, visualize this white light sort of pushing out from me and creating this sanctuary, this safe space where I'm okay and nothing can harm me. So I was in this state with this dark, almost demonic energy whispering to me and telling me things that I couldn't understand because I couldn't make out the words, but they were definitely speaking. And of course I was afraid when this was happening, because my efforts to maintain the space and to maintain this vibration of love and protection didn't seem to work. I was sort of just hovering there, and I went to touch under my body, and it was completely, there was nothing there. So at that point, I'm like, holy fuck, I'm levitating. And you know, looking back on it, I could have been dreaming, even though I don't think this was a dream, just because of the intensity of it. I dream every single night, and I have pretty vivid dreams, but when you're feeling something like this is a whole new caliber of intensity, so I don't think it was a dream at all. But you know, it was so seamless if it was, that when this was happening, I'm like, I am wide awake and this is real. I am levitating. What the hell is going on? And I just started to panic, so I sort of just jumped out of bed, and I tried to like find the light on the wall while I was still freaking out. I'm like, okay, just turn the lights on, figure out what's going on here. And, you know, I turned to my left where there's a small corridor and a living room, and I saw this person in a robe sitting down in the middle of the living room. What happened is I opened my eyes, I was in my bed, and my ears were still ringing, like I couldn't hear anything. It's just, and I'm like shaking and like, what is going on right now? I grabbed my phone, and the second I grabbed my phone, I got a message from actually a shaman that I worked with for 6 months in Ecuador, mentioning my dad because he was there doing a retreat at that shamanic center. And I just found that really interesting that, you know, as soon as I wake up, I pick up my phone, I get a message from the shaman mentioning my dad, which is, you know, the person's voice that I just heard before this experience started. But I asked her about it, and pretty much the next day, today, I've been talking to her, and she said this is pretty common for people going into who are astral projecting and starting to like dip deeper into these realms of consciousness, because even though there's a lot of positive stuff out there and a lot of positive entities, you know, there's a lot of dark stuff out there as well. So just out of chances, things will eventually encounter you, and you know, they'll try and scare you to reduce your vibration and so forth. And you know, she's just given me a bit of advice about if this happens again, you just need to, you know, stand your ground, call in different spirits and angels, try and maintain that state of composure and loves, because you know, if these spirits are really making you panic and freaking you out and causing a lot of fear, then they're winning that game. So what I believe happened, looking back at this experience, is that, you know, all the signs were there that I astral projected. So again, I don't know why it just sort of happened. I don't know why I heard my dad's voice just before it happened. This is all a mystery to me, but the symptoms of astral projection were there. So the same body feelings, the same expansiveness, and the ringing sensations in my ears. And this wasn't with the use of any substance or anything. I was completely sober when this happened. So rule out the idea that, you know, I was just tripping balls or, you know, going on a psychedelic trip or anything like that. And when it was happening, I recognized that something, you know, some sort of spiritual thing was happening, but I couldn't think about when I've experienced this before. It's a weird nostalgic feeling when you're going through it, because you're like, oh, I've been here before, I remember all these sensations. But when it's happening, you're like, ooh, this is all new and scary again. So it does make sense that I was in my astral body, floating above my body, maybe being attacked by this entity or it trying to scare me or whatever. And that's why when I reached behind my back, I couldn't feel anything, because I was in my astral body. Which again, this makes a whole lot of sense, because when I did get this message and I woke up from this experience, I was in my bed. So, you know, I returned back to my real body, but I thought I was in my real body when I was actually in my astral body, floating above my real body. The ringing in my ears lasted for about another half an hour to maybe 45 minutes after I woke up, like really intense ringing in my ears. I couldn't hear anything else besides this ringing. And that started as soon as I started being thrust out of my body. So if you are going deep into this whole spiritual pursuit to access these different realms of consciousness and dimensions, it's not all fun and games. So I have had a few experiences now where I've encountered dark entities, and believe me when I say they can be scary as fuck. Like, don't mess around with these dark entities out there. You think, okay, it's all fine, they can't hurt me, I'm just going to hold this vibration of love and I'll be fine and protect myself. No, when something's fucking grabbing you and you're levitating and you're hearing these voices and you just feel this dense, oppressive energy on you, it is terrifying. It is a terrifying experience. So don't go into these dimensions or these places. Don't do it lightly, because there is a lot of dark shit out there. Of course, there's a lot of beautiful things out there as well. I've had many beautiful experiences where I have seen, ancestors and loved ones and different spirits, but I have also encountered a few dark energies on my pursuits. So just a word of caution, if you are getting into astral projection, maybe when you start doing these practices and accessing these planes of information, you won't have full control over when it happens. And with that said, I'm going to wrap up this video now. So thanks for listening to this story, and I will keep you updated if more things like this happen, because it doesn't happen often, but these sort of experiences tend to happen in my life. They are picking up the more I delve into shamanic traditions, the more I work with meditation and breath work and astral projection, and I'm trying to expand on my healing modalities. So yeah, let me know, and thanks for watching this video.